Go. And then it goes.
Hello everybody, Outcast5 here again with another commentary. Today I have a commentary on the new French BB6, the Charlemagne. I hope I pronounced that right, I really don't know. And I've seen a lot of complaining, I don't know if I'd say complaining, but a lot of kind of bad reviews about it on the forums, and I decided I really should get some gameplay in with it and make a commentary and kind of establish my own opinion. So this is actually the first time I saw the French BB6. I'm using a Fleetmates account, and this is my first game, of course. So I really didn't know what to expect coming into this, but I will say right now that I wasn't up against any other BB6s, so I can't really commentate on that aspect of the Charlemagne, BB6 versus BB6. But here I'm, just kind of playing aggressively. I see that there really isn't any scouting on me. There's some what appears to be torp bombers, real low tier in the middle. So I go south, and I'm gonna try and get this sub and get some damage on him. I know I'm not gonna hit him. I hear the spread isn't that great, and really it isn't great. It isn't as terrible as I kind of expected though. But anyways, I did some damage on the sub, made him go underwater, and then I just rushed this H-44, who really doesn't seem to be paying attention. And as you see, I lead him pretty good. Put my guy length at the end of him, and it still ends up near the rear. That's just something you're gonna have to get used to in this ship. It seems that the hang time is pretty high, even though it's 40-degree guns, and I'm used to the Amagi, which is 45 and has the longest hang time in the game. But anyways, I'm just rushing this guy, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna kill him. Luckily, they just have no vision on me. Otherwise, I would have died, because you see I'm in range of a Monty and a Super Yami, so it's not really the fault of these two BBs, although maybe they could have tried harder to get a scout out. But this is kind of just a good deal for me, good situation for me, and I don't really know the angles. I accidentally one-shot that poor little DD trying to hit this Montana who's just sailing straight, and my next shot, not a very good shot either. Still get some pretty decent damage. The damage is pretty good on these guns. It's just your chances of hitting with a good salvo aren't very likely. There, I get a little lucky. You see the spread was just terrible there, longer than the length of a Monty. So it seems to be kind of very random spread. And what I'm going to do right here is, I'm just going to rush this Super Yami, because I took out his support ships, and so I'm just going to go nose in on him and try and finish this game quickly. I was just really trying to be aggressive, so that I could understand or learn how this ship is. I think that's the best way to get a feel of a ship. I can find out its repair rate and how well it can take damage, and just some other few aspects of the ship while I'm rushing, compared to if I just play the line battle and sit back. That's just going to be boring anyways. And so I finished that Super Yami, and see, pretty quickly I rack up 160k attack, so that's pretty decent. But as you can see, I'm just going to continue to engage this Lion 1, and here I fire at 37 degrees, and he bounces it. So that's pretty significant. The penetration value of the shells, the AP, the shell weight, I guess is what you would say, doesn't seem to be very high. I don't have the statistics in front of me right now, but if a Lion 1 is bouncing me at angle 37 with these guns, that's usually not a great indicator. That I'm not sure how it would compare to the Kaiser. The Kaiser's pretty notorious for having its shells bounced rather easily, and it looks like the Charlemagne might be in the same category as the Kaiser when it comes to that, although I doubt it's as bad. But anyways, you see I switched to where my AP would usually be, but my Fleetmate didn't have AP on this, and you can't really blame him, because you only get 4 binds with the Charlemagne and 40 shells in each bind. And these are quad guns, so that directly relates to 40 salvos if my math isn't terrible, which it might be. And here, that was a nice salvo. I get a little lucky. It's a bad spread, as you see, but it lands. But anyways, only 40 salvos is terrible, I'd say, for a BB6. I know in like my Amagi, which has duels, I think it has 5 binds with duels. It might just be 4 binds, but even with 4 binds, and dual guns, that ammo will last me forever. So it is really unfortunate for the French players. But back on the gameplay here, I'm really just rushing. Of course, like I said, there was no BB6s, so there's really nothing to prevent me from doing so. And even still, the BB5s have pretty similar range to this ship. Its range is probably just a smidget. Is that a word? I'm going to make it up if it isn't. A smidget more than the H-44's range. And when you consider how big the ass is, its hitbox is massive. I mean, look at that thing. That is a fat bottom girl right there. And not in a good way. Totally lost now. I don't know where to transition from fat bottom girls. I don't know how to segue this. But anyways, there's really only a couple BBs left. Mostly CVs. I'm just rushing. I'm just going to keep the video going even though not much else happens, just so I can get some more of my opinion in on the Charlemagne here. And I'll say that in comparison to other BB6s, I mean, you probably could find something this ship is good at, but you really have to search for it. Other BB6s, you can look at it pretty quickly and see what that BB6 is going to be for, what its niche is. That's the key thing, is this doesn't have a niche. It doesn't have anything it truly excels at. It's just kind of either average, below average, or terrible in pretty much all the categories against other BB6s. For one, its speed, it's 39. It's the second/third fastest, I believe. QV goes 40, and the slowest would be the Kaiser at 37. So it's not worst. It's not the best though, and its spread, probably the worst of all the BB6s, pretty indefinitely. And like I said, its range is worst of all the BB6s, just a little bit more than an H-44 maybe. I don't know about its AA. I'm sorry I didn't have AA gunners on this account, but it doesn't seem like it can really take a hit. It can't really repair very quickly either. Real quick, I kept this video going because we have the Gladiator sub. This last sub just tears through our team, and it goes on and prolongs the game for quite a while. I was joking on Ventrilo at the time that this guy is the underwater Chuck Norris, so just watch him as I continue with my review. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, its repair rate doesn't seem very high. I know that is kind of, dependent on the base stats of your crew and whatnot, but it just doesn't seem to really be able to take a hit. It's hard to say, what exact statistic is the reason for that. I guess you could say the submergence value doesn't seem to be very high. I'm not sure, because there are ships like the PVBs or EVBs. They can really take a hit. They have that reduced damage ratio, in the same way that when a BB fires at like a DD, it just doesn't do as much damage to it as it would if it was hitting another BB. And this seems to take the pretty large brunt of the damage when it gets hit. So I was kind of glad that there were repairs on the T slots of this instead of AA. But I know that the French AA is really nice. But from what I've heard, some people have said that the AA's angles aren't very good on this ship. And look at this guy, untouchable. He's getting a barrage. Look at that. He smoked that guy. Jesus. Anyways, there's really just nothing this ship is great at. I mean, you have a really hard time. QV, it's a Russian ship, those 30-degree laser guns, very slim profile, fastest BB6 Kaiser. That's the line battle. That's the event ship, not the fleet event ship, I mean, in the sense that its range, its AA is pretty good for a defensive sense. The Amagi, is also kind of a line battler. It's a defensive ship. If somebody tries to rush it, it's going to stomp them pretty well. Now the sub's tearing into our Super Yamato. The Nebraska, and there's the lovely team killing, but I get a part of that too, you'll see. Anyways, I'm kind of jumping back and forth on topics, but the Nebraska is the jack of all trades. There's a lot of things that it's above average at, and it's an all-around great ship. Most people say, oh yeah, when somebody complains about their ship, my ship's terrible, it's not good at anything, somebody will say, oh, that's just an all-around good ship. In most cases that's bullshit, but in the case of Nebraska it really is. And see here, I accidentally hit the space bar, and whoops, sorry about that, homie. I shot my teammate. And anyways, back to the comparisons. But when you look at the Charlemagne, it's just, there's really nothing that you can say, wow, this, I want to do this specific, this specific thing while I'm in a fleet event, say for the QV, you're going to be the rushing ship. The Kaiser, you're going to be the defensive line holder. Then there's the Charlemagne, and you are going to be the awkward-looking carrot that can't really hit very accurately and is likely going to die, unfortunately. I'll say that, it's a decent ship. It's not too bad to play with. I kind of enjoy it in a GB, but in a competitive sense, I really don't see it holding its own weight, if that makes sense. There's just really nothing that compels you to use it. And so, hopefully they can, put a patch in that would make it a little more competitive, because at this point it's really not. And, all it is a camouflaged carrot, a big bottom girl, a slice of cake. That's the most entertainment I get out of this ship, is coming up with humorous names for how it looks, because it is goddamned ugly. Excuse my language. I'm sorry if I offended any believers of Christ. But anyways, that's the commentary, and here it's wrapped up. It's over. I had to insert a little GIF to distract you while I continued my review. And anyways, I hope I covered everything. Leave some comments below if you got any questions about it, and I'll try and answer for you. And be on the lookout for more commentaries from me. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.